Welcome back to the Sports Source. We appreciate you joining us today, whether that's Facebook Live, 1:30 in the morning, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. This segment of our show is brought to you by A.G. Heinz Company. Last week, I had to come up with some columns to put behind our desk to help support our new COVID barriers. And it was a building project. So where did I turn? A.G. Heinz Company. They got the materials for whatever project you're doing, whether it's building a home or just a do-it-yourself project. They are the ones that the biggest contractors turn to, and you can turn to them as well. Since 1920, they have been the best in building materials in East Tennessee. A.G. Heinz Company. All right. The Big Ten, Pac-12 have said they are going to go conference only, conference scheduling only. Let's go ahead and put the graphic up. There we go. Big Ten, Pac-12 say they're going to play conference only. Big 12 reportedly is still planning to play a full season. I wish them a lot of luck in that. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what they say they're still going for. The ACC, according to longtime college football writer Brett McMurphy, he says their number one choice is a 10-game conference schedule. So they're going to add 2 more conference games, include Notre Dame in that is the number one goal right now, and then add 1 non-conference game to each school, hoping to keep those 4 SEC rivalry games at the end of the season. Carolina, Clemson, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville, keep those as part of that. And then meanwhile, the SEC still looks like they are leaning to the 8 conference games plus 1 non-conference, or 8 conference games plus 2 non-conference. Here's my question, guys. Let's take the Pac-12 and the Big Ten out of it. They're doing conference only. These other 3 conferences, one says we're going to play all our games. And I realize they're probably just saying that until things change, but you're to it now. I mean, the SEC had come out and said we're going to make our decision by the end of July. That's this week. Big 12 planning to play all their games. ACC saying 1 non-conference game. SEC saying 1, maybe 2 non-conference games. If these are the only 3 guys out there, shouldn't they all be in the same page at some point? Because if the ACC goes to 1 non-conference game and the Big 12 and the SEC goes to 1 non-conference game, I don't see how the Big 12 is going to get a lot of non-conference games and play their full schedule. I don't see that happening. So I hate to say get on with it. You know, wait till you have to make a decision. Well, you're there. We're there. It's the end of July. I'm surprised these 3 conferences are talking about 3 completely different plans for scheduling. Last week we talked about the fact that there were rumors they might work together and partner together. Sounds like those are 3 completely different ideas at the moment. Shouldn't they be working together?
I think they would like to say they're working together, but I think ultimately it's still the same, every man for himself. Sort of, I think they want to share some information and maybe talk to each other, but if one side feels strongly about, no, we're going to do this, they're going to do that. And again, it points back to this idea that there's no central leadership, and you can kind of form a quasi-coalition until it's not advantageous for you to have that coalition. Right. You say, well, actually, we're going to do this. Sorry. So that's what it is.
Well, it makes you wonder if they were going to have a commissioner, would they listen to?
Yeah, really.
If they all want to do their own thing. So I think it would be smart for them to work together because, look, the Pac-12 is the younger brother of the Big Ten, always kind of follow along afterwards. But these 3, if they want to do their plans of any sort of +1s, need to work together because guess what? If someone decides to do conference only, guess what? The SEC can't play their conference games against the Big 12.
Exactly.
And there's 4 of them set up. And the ACC, obviously moving Notre Dame over, gives them that flexibility for those other games, including the Chick-fil-A games, which involve ACC, SEC, and Big 12 teams. But it can be a real mess if they don't work together. I don't understand why they would not.
Well, I guess it all goes back to what Sterling Hinton always says, the bottom line is the dollar sign. And if you're looking at giving up a game, is how much revenue are you going to be losing giving up that game? You know, and when do you think you can start the season? You know, if you're not going to be able to start the season as scheduled, which it doesn't look like, or if it's going to be on into September or maybe October, how are you going to play all of these non-conference games?
Well, and start the season, Greg Sankey has mentioned that his deadline to decide at the end of the month is on whether they start the season. I don't know that they feel like they have to decide for the season. Now, it can't be far longer after that.
Well, look,
obviously.
if this is if it's so easy, if it's just I mean, they usually cut up these football schedules years in advance. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about just a little league schedule now, hey, you free on Saturday, let's get together. then fine, we'll stop talking about it for a month.
Right.
I would think, though, if you're going to say when you're going to start the season, you would want to have fans get some idea, and the TV networks have some idea of what the hell games are going to be played on what the hell channel on what the hell day.
And
I mean,
it's-
I'm just tired of it. And I'm guessing fans are tired of it, too.
Sure.
It's ridiculous. Make a damn decision.
And go on. And as a parent, would you want your son or daughter, say a Tennessee football player, traveling in a confined space to Oklahoma and back? I mean, are you going to bus there? Are you going to take a plane flight? How are you going to get there and back and guarantee the safety of the student athlete? I don't think you can say you can do that right now.
Tell you what, we'll talk about the SEC's plan next. Come on back and we'll discuss. There's an easy way for them to make all kinds of money. I don't know why they won't do it. I'll ask these guys why they won't do it. Come on back, we'll show it to you.